I'm Dr. Sheila Pedersen Eller.
And, ma'am, do you own or have interest in land in Kossuth County, Iowa that is being targeted for Summit's proposed hazardous pipeline?
Yes, I do. My father, John Pedersen, purchased the farm in 1972 in Kossuth County. We have a second farm that he purchased in 1956. My father is a Korean vet war person, and he bought that farm because he has a love for farm. I mean, he's a Korean veteran, and he has a love for farm, and he said to me on his bed when he was dying, he says, "You take care of that farm. It's our farm." And so now my mother is the owner of the farm, and her name is Geraldine Rose Pedersen, and the farm is in a trust.
And you're a beneficiary of the trust?
I am a trustee and the one who manages the farm for our family.
Okay, very good. And in this matter, did you cause to be filed what's known as pre-filed testimony, written testimony, questions and answers, along with some exhibits and attachments?
Yes, I did.
And if we were to walk through all those same questions, would the answers you provided in your written testimony that's filed here be substantially similar to those you would give today?
Yes, they would.
And can you think of any material updates or corrections that are necessary to be made?
Yes, I do have an update, and I believe it's an update. I just want to clarify. My mother signed an easement here in August.
For what?
So I had the opportunity to partnership with Kossuth County. It felt like a partnership, so it was really easy to do. Our farm, there is a wooden bridge that's probably 40 plus years old. I remember when I was a child. And the county called me on my cell phone, which I've never received a call from Summit. But the county reached out to me and asked if we would be interested in meeting with them about entertaining a new bridge. I asked the question, is this Summit asking about the bridge? Because the bridge has been there for 40 years. Our farmers have used that bridge for a long time. And he said no, that Summit did not approach them, that the bridge needs to be replaced because it's wooden. And I said, can you send me some maps? And so I'm on the phone with him. He sends me all the maps of the farm and where the bridge is going to go. And I said, have you talked to the neighbors? Because the farmers are the one who use that bridge. And during harvest time is a really difficult time to replace a bridge. Like this meeting is very difficult for farmers. Bad time of the year for them to have meetings. But he said, no, we're definitely going to work around the harvest time. And so he met with Dana Arndorfer and one other farmer to the south of us. And we're all in agreement that it probably needs to be replaced and widened for the equipment that crosses over that bridge. So Doug Miller is the one that I've been working with. He offered to meet me at the farm to review where the bridge is going to go and how much land he needed. So after going to the farm, talking with the farmers in the area, we all agreed. And it's a utility, so I understand that he could do it anyway, but it's the process he used to change the bridge. Okay. So we are moving forward with the new bridge. I know there's a really long story, but, it is our farm and it's precious to us.
Okay, so just to summarize, the county approached you and some other folks about a new bridge and then acquiring an easement or rights to expand the bridge. Is that essentially it?
That is correct. We are expanding the bridge, and it is an easement that we have signed, and as well as Dana Arndorfer has signed, because it affects his property as well.
Okay, and are you aware Mr. Arndorfer and Arndorfer Brothers have previously testified in this hearing?
I'm very aware of Dana because he is and Eric are our tenants that farm our land. So I have a very good relationship with them.
Okay, very good. With that, I would offer Exhibit 287 as well as 626.
No objection. Seeing no objections, the board will admit.
Thank you. And with that, I will tender you for cross-examination.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Jorde.
Mr. Taylor, You're back in the pole position.
Thank you. Ma'am, I'm Wally Taylor. I represent the Sierra Club.
Nice to meet you.
Just to get this out of the way first, does that easement for the bridge impact the proposed pipeline in any way?
No, it does not.
Okay.
It's not near it.
Okay. I just wondered if it did.
No, the bridge really probably needs to be widened for the equipment that the farmers are using. You know, the combines are getting larger and bigger, so.
Okay. Have you been the person on behalf of the trust who has been dealing with people from Summit?
I have not had any phone calls or dealings with Summit, neither has my mom. My mom, 2 years ago, well, my mom lives with me in northern Minnesota. And when I looked at the IUB contact information that Summit submitted, they have on there that they've called, phone calls to my mom, which we have never received. They said twice they met with us in person, which is not true. My mom lives with me, and my father passed away in 2017. And it was decided that my mom would move in with us, and part of the year she lives with me and my husband, John. My mom, 2 years ago in 2021, my mom became very ill with an infectious disease that attacked her heart. So my mom had open heart surgery in December 14th at the Mayo Clinic. And my mom was at the hospital for quite a long time and then had to go rehab. In that time, I look at the document that was submitted. It says that they talked to my mom on December 20. I'm sorry, I'm going to have the wrong date. Can I pull up my document of the correct date? Okay, I guess I will. They said they met with my mother, but that's pretty impossible because she was in the hospital and then she was in rehab. So we have not, to answer your question, we have never talked to Summit. We have never seen them in person. They have never asked to meet us at our farm. The only thing I've received from Summit is threatening letters about the pipeline. When I first got the first letter, I received all my mom's mail because right now my mom is really struggling with her health. So I do a lot of the work for her, especially around this situation. And I'll be honest, I recycled it because we weren't going to sign an easement for a dangerous, hazardous pipeline. So I recycled it, then I got another letter, so I did keep that letter for reference. And then in July, we received 4 letters from Summit that they're going to use eminent domain to take our farm, our land. And
July of what year?
July of this year.
Okay.
I'm sorry. July 18th of 2023, we received a letter from them, actually 4 letters of all the same content, that they're going to use eminent domain. And it really stressed my mom out that she goes, this is a legal document from a law firm in Iowa, in Des Moines, Iowa. I think I have to sign it. I said, Mom, they're threatening to take your land. You do not have to sign this. So we had to help my mom with that process. So that is the only correspondence I've ever received from Summit is letters.
Okay. You mentioned threatening letters. Can you give us more detail on what you mean by threatening?
It's just the language. And maybe I take it as threatening. That's you have to think about your own perspective. That is my perspective. When someone is saying they're going to use eminent domain to put a dangerous, hazardous pipeline on your farm, to me that's threatening. I mean, that's not a utility. So maybe it's my opinion it's threatening. That's how I take it.
Okay. So, as I understand it, you have never, nor has anyone on behalf of your property, ever talked to anybody from Summit?
No one. No one. Not one phone call, even though they say they have. They don't have my mom's cell phone number. They've never called me. My mom is living with me in northern Minnesota. I don't think they came up to northern Minnesota. If they did, they would have talked to us because my husband works from home. And we're there all the time, and my mom's there.
Okay. Can we bring up the KMZ file, please? It may be hard to tell just from this, but does that appear to be your property?
I'm not going to comment. That's my property until I actually can see it actually is. Someone, thank you. Oh my goodness, thank you. Well, I don't see the wind turbine on the property. We do have a easement. Oh, there it is. Thank you. That is.
So is that part of your property too?
Yes, that is part of our property right there. That wind turbine, my father in 2016, he passed away in 2017. He was approached about that wind turbine, and you know, this is my mom's livelihood is the farm. So it was an amazing process and a phenomenal partnership with the company that installed that, because they met with my father, they explained everything. My mom depends on the farm income for her livelihood, so my father was trying to make it easy for my mom. And the wind turbine payment my mom receives yearly, as of today, it's almost triple what Summit offered us for entire rest of the farm. One payment, it was very unacceptable what they offered. What we received from the wind turbine is fair.
Okay. So the wind turbine we see there, that's the farthest east turbine. There are some turbines west of there, correct?
Oh yes, there's actually quite a few wind turbines.
So
and it was optional. To sign that easement, it was optional.
So the wind turbine to the farthest east is below a red parcel. There are red parcels to the east and to the west of that one. Are those yours too? Or?
No, we only own the one parcel that is north, that's in red. Thank you very much. Thank you. You're doing a great job. Thank you. That parcel is ours, and yes.
Okay.
That one, and then across, oh, you're not asking me, but across the road is Dana Arndorfer's farm. Where he lives is directly across to the north of the pipeline. That is Arndorfer's farm and where he lives.
To the
straight north.
Northwest of yours.
Yeah, straight, yes, northwest, correct, sir. No, straight, just, you might have to zoom out a little bit to see it. It's kind of fuzzy. There is a farmhouse, right? Right where that person has the dot. Do you want me to point? Would that be helpful?
Yes.
I'm shaking right there. Yep, that's Dana's home.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yep, that's Dana's house.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
and I think it's only 295 feet from the pipeline, which is, you know, we're worried about that for safety reasons.
Okay. Has Summit ever, well, you've never talked to anybody from Summit, have you?
No, I have not. I see their lawyers here, but I've never spoken to them either.
Okay. Did Summit ever send you a proposed easement?
Oh, yes.
More than one?
Yes. I recycled the first one because I thought an easement was a choice. And my mom was in the hospital. I talked to my brothers, and we all agreed we're not going to sign an easement for a very dangerous, hazardous pipeline that could harm, you know, our amazing neighbors across the road and livestock and animals. I mean, to the northeast, that's a kind of a recreational area. I think I uploaded a picture of that. There's an eagle's nest there. They use the pond for fishing, and they camp there.
Can we zoom out a bit?
It's right in that northeast corner up there,
Right in there?
diagonal across from our farm. Yep, right there.
Okay.
It's beautiful. I mean, it is beautiful. I see why they camp there. And then to the south there is another area where there's a pond and some trees. And I know Dana is, he's talked to us about it. He's been clearing some trees.
Is that just right to the
Yeah.
east? Yeah.
A beautiful place to put a home. Oh my gosh. So I know Dana has considered that as well.
Okay. Are you concerned about the safety issues there?
I'm very concerned about the safety. First of all, we have never received the plume model. That would be very helpful for all of us, especially for my neighbors, the livestock in the area, the communities. I know it's a small town, but one person matters. If anyone gets hurt or dies for not having oxygen, that blood's going to be on someone's hand, on the board's hand if you approve this, because one person matters. To me, one livestock matters. The fish, the eagle's nest, it matters to me. I mean, if you're going to do it, it has to be safe. Number one, safety comes first. I'm a middle school principal. I've just retired. But safety in a school is number one. I come here and they have so many securities and check bags. We don't have that in a public school.
Not yet, anyway.
My goodness. We were searched. It's just such a different setting. So, anyway, going back to the farm, I love to talk, so you'll have to stop me, I guess. But I am concerned about the safety of anyone that's near this pipeline. And we have talked as a family, if this goes through, that field will not be corn. I will not give. Well, we don't give anything to, it's Dana's decision where he sells his corn, but it definitely won't go to an ethanol plant, ever. And we won't plant corn. Simple as that. We'll do something else with the land. Build a home there. Make it beautiful acreage. But if a pipeline comes in that takes that dream away, my daughter, who married a really nice guy from Seattle, they came to Iowa and fell in love with Iowa. And they just bought a house in Rockwell, and they want to move to an acreage. And I said, Michelle, you better do your research around the pipelines. Because some of the realtors are not aware of it. They should be.
I think that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Ms. Greenhagen?
Hi, I'm right here. I just have, you could put the KMZ file back up real quick. I just have one question I wanted to clarify for you.
Yeah.
Can you back out of it just a little bit? When you were talking about the home across the road, do you mean that one that is a little bit to the west?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's funny it's not on that map.
Because there isn't one right across the road there. That's why I was.
Yeah, you
wanting
can,
to
see,
clarify.
it's right there. Right where that gentleman or lady has her pointer, that is Dana's farm.
When was it? When was the home built?
Well, it's Dana's farm, but I believe, him and I just talked about that. 1917, I swear on oath here, so please know that's what I remember. He told me it was built in 1917. His grandparents built the home. And there's some, I wish you could see it. It's an absolutely gorgeous setting with gorgeous trees.
Could it
and
be
then
a little?
his father lived there.
I'm sorry. Could it be a little bit farther to the north? Maybe zoom out just a little bit more. There's one up right there.
No,
Could it be that
it's
one?
it's literally across the road.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see a house there. That's what I'm trying
Well,
to.
there
I'm
is.
trying to figure
I mean,
out what
okay.
you're referencing.
All right, it's right there.
Right? Can you zoom in a little bit?
No, maybe it's down right in the corner there. It looks kind of different.
Maybe scan a little bit to there's the corner.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe go up. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right and I'm wrong. But
That's why I just want to make sure
Yeah.
that you were clear about which home you were referencing.
Well, that really looks like Dana's place. Yeah, I must be
Because it's
wrong.
really close to
You know what?
across the
I
road.
must be wrong, because I feel like it's always right across the road.
Yeah, it's catty corner.
Yeah, it's catty corner. Thank you, it is catty corner.
Okay, so that's,
Yeah.
so that farmstead
that's
there, that's
Dana's.
a little bit
There
to
you
the
go.
west is the
Yeah.
one you're referencing.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Okay.
Scrapped what I apologize for my mistake.
No problem, I just want to make sure that the record
Yeah,
is clear
you're right.
what you were referencing.
I know that's a 3-generation house. I know Dana's grandpa built it and then his father, now Dana lives there with his family.
Okay, thank you, that's the only
It
thing.
looks so different on the map. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Sarah, Jeff. Okay, if there's no further questions from Ms. Kaufman.
I just wanted to ask you, excuse me, I'm Dr. Eller, Julie Kaufman from Shelby County.
Nice to meet you, Julie.
Nice to meet you. I wanted to ask you about the easement that you refused to sign with Summit because you said that you didn't believe it wasn't fair. It was you didn't think the payment was decent. Anyway, it wasn't nearly comparable to what you were getting for the windmills, is my understanding. Is that correct?
Well, no, but yes, that's what I said. But we will never sign an easement for a pipeline,
Okay.
especially with a company that's unethical, not honest with you. We will never sign an easement with Summit, no matter the dollar amount. You'll have to move me off the ground. We will never sign an easement. I want to make it clear. It's not about money. It's not about our bank account. It never has been. We're a small farmer. And I always kind of wonder, are we just singling out small farmers and trying to get rid of us? That's just how it feels. But we will never sign an easement. I'm sorry, Julie, if I said it was about the money.
No, I didn't understand that.
And I think I did mention that the windmill that my father did sign the easement, that partnership and relationship was entirely different.
I understand.
And my father's passed away. My mother does get a yearly check from them, but the amount that my mom receives, in 4 years we've already quadrupled what they offered us. So it's not about the money. But thank you, Julie. Thanks for letting me clarify that.
One other question was I wanted to, the safety issues. Do you think that the public is aware of safety issues? I know that you seem to be aware of safety issues.
I live in northern Minnesota. I probably do wish I lived in Iowa on our farm, but no, I do not. Because when my daughter was moving here, her and her husband, I asked, have you heard anything? And they bought a house close to Mason City, and they hadn't. And I talked to friends, they haven't. I've lived in 4 different states, and I've lived in the Omaha, Council Bluffs area, and they don't know. So, no, I don't think, and I'm trying to get the word out. I think we all are trying to get the word out about this dangerous, hazardous pipeline, but I think it's difficult, and we're trying really hard to do that. But, my son, who has his PhD in chemistry from Texas A&M, he said, don't ever sign that, Mom. Do you know what CO2 can do to you? It just dissipates the oxygen out of the air. It displaces it. You won't live. And it's like the firemen.
Objection, Your Honor.
Well,
State the objection.
I'll object to the narrative response as unresponsive. I think the question was, do you think the public is aware? And now we're talking about a conversation with the witness's son.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Kaufman?
Okay, I have one other question, please. Has this been hard on your family emotionally or in any way like that?
I can't begin to tell you what this has done to my mom. She pause for a drink, please. My mom's been rather sick for the last couple years, since 2021. The emotional stress, I'm an educator. I clearly know about the mental health. I deal with it every single day. 43 years in education. I know about mental health. And this has emotionally stressed my mother out. What is done to her physically, and she is fighting for her life. She had to have open heart surgery because she had an infectious disease attack her heart, 2 valves replaced. When we were getting all this letters, it's been hard on our family. This is my mom's livelihood. She depends on the income. And it's stressful. It's been stressful for me. I have retired to help my mom. I am trying to help run the farm. I'm doing our best, but it's really stressful on our family. And my brothers would be here if they could, but they all work. We all work. But it's been very stressful, mentally and physically. And, I didn't want to talk about money. The time I drove 14 hours round trip to come here. I came because I care about the farms in Iowa. I care about the small farms. I could have done this virtual, but I wanted to be in present. I wanted to be here to say, please say no to this. This is not a utility. Please say no. So yes, this has been incredibly hard on my family. And my tenant. I feel for Dana and Eric. I said to them, you guys, we're not going to have you farm this land if this goes through. I can't put you in harm's way. I would never do that to a human being. Ever. So yes, it's been incredibly stressful. Thank you.
Okay. Go to Mr. Jorde for redirect.
Picking up on that last answer there, if you take the farm out of production for concerns of your tenant and safety and other concerns, should this hazardous pipeline be approved, obviously that would be a significant economic hit and impact to your mom's income. Is that fair?
That's very correct. We're a small farmer, and that's her income, is from the farm, and she's 85. She would be here if she could handle the stress of this. This is incredibly hard for her. She would have came and testified, but it's at a very difficult level for her to do. In the letter she received from Summit, it said she had to go on the IUB and file an objection. Well, we already said no. We didn't respond to your letter, so I'm not understanding why we're sitting here when it's it's a choice to have an easement on our land. I clearly know about easements. We have 2 on this property, and we have a lot of tile on this property. I clearly know about it.
Do you understand, though, that you actually only have a choice if at least two out of the three board members here say you have a choice by rejecting eminent domain and or rejecting this pipeline application altogether?
I clearly understand. I've read the mission and the vision of the IUB. I've looked at your website. I've been all over it. I clearly know the mission and the vision is for utilities. And you do good for the people of Iowa. And that's who you represent, not a private company that's trying to steal our land, that are wealthy. We're not wealthy, but I will fight. This will not end. I will fight because we will win, because this is our land.
Thank you. I don't have any more questions. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Eller. Appreciate your testimony. Your next witness, Mr. Jorde.
Thank you for taking the time.
Megan Kennedy, and I hope she's on virtually. Yes. Okay.